Students, this practical is for the M.Ed students where they will learn how to study the impact of practice on learning of nonsense syllables. So, as you all know, you have to write the introduction of learning. What is learning? It is like acquiring new, modifying existing knowledge, behavior, skills, values, or performances, and whatever we learn indirectly or directly, this changes or modifies our behavior. This modification is known as learning. Writing the introduction, you will write the definitions and meaning of learning, then few characteristics of learning you can add to your practical, like learning as a progressive change in the behavior, learning is universal, learning is adjustment, learning is both individual and social, learning is experience, learning is intelligence, and learning is the product of environment. Then you can write the different phases of learning, like there are 3 phases of learning: cognitive or understanding phase, then associative phase, and autonomous phase. You can then give the explanation of all these phases. So here comes your exact practical, that is learning curve. So basically, what is learning curve? It is the graphical representation of the changing rate of learning for the average person and for given activity or a tool. So there are different definitions given by different authors about the learning curve. You can write those definitions. Then you can write the various characteristics of the learning curve. So there are 3 types of learning curve: negatively accelerated or convex curve, positively accelerated or concave curve, and the combination of both. So negatively accelerated curve or convex curve is the one which is this negatively accelerated curve shows the initial improvement in the learning that slows down with the time. So this is negatively accelerated curve. Positively accelerated curve depicts the initial development or improvement in learning which increases with the time. Ultimately, it will lead in the mastery of the subject. And the combination, that is convex and concave curve, it involves combination of both the curves, convex and concave, and it looks like capital S, which is also known as S curve. So these are the stages of the learning curve. Initial stage is the stage where the progress is very slow, and the learner, whosoever is learning something, he or she will take time to get more familiar with the material they want to learn. Second is spurts, where the learner has overcome the initial difficulty in learning and quickly he starts learning, which is followed by the spurt of periods, that is rapid learning. Then there is decline. After spurts, there is decline in learning. Then plateau. It is the stage where after some time there occurs plateaus. There is no visible addition to the learning and it will come to standstill. It will stop there. Then again spurts will occur and then there will be irregular progress. And then the learning reaches to the final limit. So what is the reason of the plateaus that occur in the learning process? Sometimes we are not eager to learn, or we are fatigued, or we get bored from the learning material. Then our learning will stop. Then second, which is most important thing, is lack of interest. If you don't have interest in learning something, then you won't be able to learn. It will stop there and then undue attention, or the activities that occurs in between the learning which distract you from learning thing which he or she is learning. Then shifting of your attention from whatever you are learning to some other thing. And if the subject matter which is taught by the teacher is too difficult to understand, then the plateaus can occur in the learning process. So now we come to the actual experiment which will be conducted on any of the subject you can take. The objective of the test is to plot a learning curve by using a list of 10 nonsense syllables, or the learning material and to interpret the learning curve. Hypothesis is what we presume is that if you practice more, you will have number of correct responses more. Nonsense syllables are those which are at the beginning and they are at the end of the list, are learned in lesser time than the nonsense syllables in the middle of the list. Because when you are given the list, तो वो लिस्ट जब आपको दी जाती है, you just grab the few first words out of 10 and the last 10 words out of those 10, because they are in the mind immediately. But in between whatever you have read, you might forget those syllables because they have no meaning. These words have no meaning. So these words have just one vowel in between, but they have no meaning. So these things are not that easy to learn. सो ये जो एक्सपेरिमेंट होता है ये एक सिंगल इंडिविजुअल सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर करा जाता है और इसमें उसको वो लर्निंग मटेरियल प्रोवाइड किया जाएगा. लर्निंग मटेरियल इज़ द लिस्ट ऑफ दोज 10 नॉनसेंस syllables and these will have two parts. That is the syllables they will learn which are not in sequence and the syllables they will learn which are in sequence. So the learning material will be presented to the learner and they will be given the instructions how to do that experiment. So what we will do in this experiment, in this table A, this is the trial chart and here you will be giving these 10 syllables, nonsense syllables to your subject. आप अपने subject को ये 10 जो है नॉनसेंस syllables देंगे, कोई भी हो सकते हैं, वो 10 नॉनसेंस syllables देंगे and you will tell them to read those nonsense syllables. You will give them time to read those nonsense syllables. Then after reading you will take back that list और उसके बाद आपने 10 ट्रायल्स देने हैं उनको. फर्स्ट ट्रायल में you will tell them to repeat those nonsense syllables. They might not be in sequence because we are writing that the trial chart is where the syllables will not be in sequence. तो वो किसी भी sequence में आपको जब आंसर कर रहे हैं you will start their time with the stopwatch and you will note down the timing which they will take to read or tell those nonsense syllables. So wherever they are telling you they might not be in sequence but they are telling you those nonsense syllables, you will take mark, right? And if they have not told you those nonsense syllables or they have forgot to tell those syllables, then you will mark them wrong. तो ये फर्स्ट ट्रायल में as you can see you will note down the timing through stopwatch. You can use the traditional stopwatch or all the people have mobile phones, so there is a stopwatch, you can use that stopwatch too. So our first trial में you will note down the timing they have taken to explain those 10 nonsense syllables. So in the first trial you can see 400 seconds were taken, sorry, not seconds, not minutes but seconds were taken. So the subject took 400 seconds to tell you the 10 nonsense syllables not in sequence. Then you will again tell them to read and then again you will give the second trial where the subject has taken 300 seconds. That means 100 seconds less than the first trial. और उसमें भी उसकी जो लिस्ट है उसमें you can see 3 times the person was not able to remember those nonsense syllables and others they have remembered. And remember these are not in sequence. Similarly you will give third trial, fourth trial and all the 10 trials and we can note down that the subject has taken 400 minutes in the initial trial and in the last trial you can see in just 10 seconds they have given the right answers, correct responses. That means that in the initial stage they were not able to remember, but when they are repeated again and again they were able to remember. So the second chart shows the percentages of correct or incorrect responses. In the first trial, the number of correct responses were 50% and incorrect were 50%. Like 5 answers were correct and 5 were not correct. Similarly, second trial, third trial, these are the percentages that were there of each trial. Side by side, you will be writing the procedure also, like preliminary step, then instructions given to the subject, then the material required, then preparation of the nonsense syllables, and here is the graphical representation of the correct and non-correct responses in the form of percentages. Here you will write the actual conduct of the experiments, how you did the experiment, and on the left side you can see the time which was taken by the subject for each trial, which was not in sequence, but the number of trials were 10 and the time taken by the subject from first to last trial. You can see from first trial it was 400 seconds, but in the last trial it has reduced to 10 seconds. Here we will discuss all the tables we have drawn and all the details which were done by the subject. And similarly, there is one again trial chart where the syllables now will be remembered by the subject in sequence. So you have to note down the timing of the subject which he or she has taken to remember those nonsense syllables. But they should, whenever they will tell you those nonsense syllables, they should now be in the sequence. If it is not in the sequence, then you have to cross. So like in the after reading the list again, when they will be giving the first trial, you can see that first 3-4 were in sequence, and after that he or she forgot the sequence of the nonsense syllables. The second trial, then it increased, it remained the same, but the time taken by the subject was less. So from 150 seconds to the last trial, the person took 10 seconds to remember those 10 nonsense syllables, but they were in sequence too. So here also you will draw the table of percentage of the syllables of correct and incorrect responses in sequence, and then you will draw the graphical representation of the percentage of correct and incorrect response. This table again is showing the percentages, the time taken by the subject to complete the nonsense trial in sequence, nonsense syllable trials in sequence, and number of trials were first to 10. So here is the graph that shows the time taken for each trial which was not in sequence. This is the learning curve which was drawn out of that, and the second one was the trial taken by the subject and the time taken which was in sequence. So this is how you draw the learning curve. I hope everyone has understood this experiment of learning curve, and if you have any queries you can message me or comment. Thank you.